Welcome back to Dive Twang. I'm Dave. We've got a two chord jam here. It's C and G. Okay, we're in C major, so we're going a couple measures of C, couple measures of G. It's kind of like a slowed down Bertha by the Dead, if you're familiar with that, without all the other kind of rhythmic things that we're used to hearing in that song. So I just wanted to make a simple loop at a tempo where we can really plug into this game plan um, that I want to share a couple things with you about and then get right to the practice loop so you can start using this. I also encourage you to, go off to the side, because you want to feel this stuff in your own way, so just get warmed up, whatever tempo you want. Just get an easy strum groove going with that, and you'll get your ear acclimated. Now, I'm going to put it on here right away. And I said we're treating it as the C is the one chord, the major scale. So let's try that out and just warm up on that scale. Not bad, okay. So let's leave that on for a second. Then you notice I kind of started to tease it in there a little bit with like some triad shapes of the C as well. Now that's a different chord tone. We'll talk about that in a second, but okay, so when I got to the G that time, I played, a little triad. C, sorry, um, and G. Now, here's, when we improvise and when we hear, if you ever learn a solo that's transcribed or something, a well-known solo, you're like, man, you know, every musical element's being used, different rhythmic stuff, chord tone. I can hear like arpeggios in part of it and scales in part of it, and it's just, you know, and that's what we all aspire to is to use, a diverse and abundant amount of musical elements to make it, stand out, to make it interesting, right? And so, by all means, embrace that. But to get there, sometimes if we find ourselves, kind of like trying to think about or do too many things at once, what happens, right? We don't get to the next chord, or we do, and we're just still kind of thinking about something that has already happened, and you just get in this weird kind of time, you know, jam up where you're just not in it, right? Anybody relate to any of that? I, I I imagine so. I experience this, every day. It's not something that's just like that happens in just one stage of playing or something, right? So when that happens, when you notice that, step back from it. Say, okay, look, you know, I'm I'm gonna do more stuff, but right now, I just want to make sure just staying on the track, and whether it's with a backing track or not, just that by on track, I mean that the song is still intact, right? You're getting it's adding up, it's making sense when you change the chords and so forth. So one way you can do that is to kind of make, a game out of assigning things to the different chords. That this is what I do a lot. And it's not complicated. Over the C, I'm going to use that 7 note C major scale a lot, and some triad, stuff. Now what did I do with the G? All right, G major pentatonic. So my, you know, one version of that kind of process of sort of, making a game plan that I was just talking about is I can use the 7 note C major scale over the C in general, and the major pentatonic from the G root when it goes to the G. Okay. Okay, so a couple different positions, but did you see what was happening? For the most part, it was major scale. Sometimes I just went even right down the scale and just as a did a little dance with my right hand there and just made that musical, right? Even though it was just the scale. And then that's all G major pentatonic. Okay. Now, um, the only thing that's really was kind of that I also included a lot in the intro, and that I'll kind of explain here real quickly, and then get you to the practice loop, is looking for a chord tone when the measure changes. So, if I start right on the downbeat of C, that's just a one that's near right there. Now, you want to know, kind of where some of those are. So that's something that you do in preparation for this activity, right? As you map out, it's a bunch of triads. Those were all G, right? Those were all C. Okay. And, look for one and let your ear kind of pull you to it, but not just by visual memorization, because it will pull you. There'll be one right next door somewhere, either just up or just down from where you are. And so when you do that, you're just using one note to get that new chord started, right? So that's taken care of. It's not a, oh no, I got to switch over to the other scale and the wheels come up. That one note is all you need. Then you can kind of reset to play, um, you know, a lick over the chord that you just arrived on. But using that one note going from the previous chord gets you there, gets the listener's ear there. You've arrived. Then you can kind of take a breath and do something else, and then repeat that routine over and over between the two chords. Okay, and here's what starts happening. See, I went to the pentatonic after I got there. Now, you know, a couple times I bent. I ended up on when it went from C to the G. The downbeat of the G was, but that note is that B, the third. Right, of that B, or of that G chord, the third of G, B, right? All right. So I just wanted to point that out because in the intro, if you go back and watch that, I probably did that several times too. And then of course, this is Tao of Twang. We're not here to like get on some kind of strict program or whatever, right? But do this kind of thing and really, take yourself to task, and I think you'll see some payoff very quickly, actually. And so one of the things that I think is really a benefit here is that using that one note, targeting one note for the next chord, and once you get there, you're safe. Like you've gotten to second base or whatever, right? You're not like sliding by and maybe you're out, maybe you're maybe you're good. It gives you a confident place to land. Then go back to your routine and plug into it and keep on going. Hope this helps. Let me know how it goes. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.